recent face-off between Dangote Refinery and Petroleum Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PEGASIN, has been heavily criticized by various stakeholders in Nigeria, including the president. Last month, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, speaking through Vice President Kashim Shettima, rallied Nigerian support and appreciate the contributions of the president of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, especially given his contributions to the nation's economy. The president's remark came against a backdrop of series of antagonisms against Africa's richest man by some business interests and labor unions in the oil sector. The latest being the dispute between Dangote and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, PEGASIN, which has now been resolved. So joining us on the show to discuss the labor laws and the limits to unionism is Femi Falana, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Great to have you, sir, and thank you so much for coming in studio with us.
Thank you very much.
Real quickly,
pleasure.
Sir, I've seen a lot of demonization of PEGASIN as regards what happened in the recent days. NNPC has come out to say, oh, they lost about 600,000 barrels. The other day, gas prices went up. People said it was because of PEGASIN. So almost everything now is because of PEGASIN. In fact, at this rate, if there's bad road in Nigeria, it's PEGASIN. Was there anything PEGASIN did right or wrong in the last impasse with Dangote Refinery?
I'm worried at the hypocrisy of the federal government. Under the law, under the Trade Union Act, and this law was not written by PEGASIN or no Peng, unionization is allowed by law. Under the Constitution, Section 40, freedom of association. In fact, I say, including political parties, trade unions, and other associations. So trade union is specifically mentioned. Nigeria also on its own, without any harassment from anybody, ratified Articles 87 and 98 of the ILO Conventions, which allow trade union, unionization, as well as bargaining, collective bargaining. So to that extent, Nigeria cannot, the government cannot be held to say that, oh, PEGASIN or NUPENG, you are going out of your way by asking for unionization. The entire strike, the two strikes were avoidable. If the Dangote Group had recognized that under the law, you cannot negotiate unionization, trade unionization. If the government had moved in speedily, as soon as the notice was given, you have security report. What's going on there? But for the intervention of the State Security Service and the office of the NSA, the strikes will have been more paralytic. They were. Now, the government is empowered, is allowed, is required by law to apprehend industrial actions so that you can have peace in the society. But when you allow workers to go on strike over matters that have been settled since the colonial days, workers fought to have unionization. In fact, the first trade union in Nigeria was born in 1912, before the amalgamation of 2014. So it's too late in the day to say, oh, we're not going to allow union anywhere. So for the people in Abuja to be accusing trade unions who are asking to enjoy their rights under the Constitution and the Trade Union Act, but it's not correct.
They didn't say they're not going to allow unions. What happened was a dispute. People were sacked and they were reposted into other arms.
No, that was later.
Dangote Refinery. And secondly, the point is, are you saying now that that PEGASIN has the right to cripple the economy, which is a national security threat,
you see,
and stop power production in the country, cut gas to power stations and the likes?
You see,
is there any justification for that?
You see, this is the problem about strikes. There's no strike anywhere in the world where people are not going to be inconvenienced. And that is why it's the duty of the government to prevent strikes as much as possible. Whether you're talking of the United States of America, in Norway, in the UK, whatever, France almost collapsed last year because of strikes, because the government and the employers did not take immediate action. This matter did this. Dangote has operated now, the refinery has operated for 1 year. Nobody was talking of unionization until now. And it's a question of, we are coming to organize our members. You say no. Even the group even went to the extent of wanting to form its own union for workers. We say no. This is the position of the law. For junior workers, it's automatic. Once you join any enterprise, you are automatically a member of the NUPENG. With respect to pengasing, the law says you must opt in by writing, indicating in writing that I want to be a member of pengasing. 800 people indicated their wish to be members of pengasing. There was no strike, there was no war, no protest.
Okay.
And the government now called the two sides, or rather the three sides, two pengas, NUPENG government fair, then Dangote, Dangote and NUPENG, and Dangote and Penga. In both agreements, the first clause is that unionization is part of the extant laws of Nigeria. So if that right had been respected, or if the government had read the Riot Act, when there was an indication that there was going to be a strike, who didn't have had the strike?
Okay, sir.
So to now say, oh, because the UK 3 weeks ago, there was a strike by railway workers. The whole place got paralyzed. So everybody had to put their car on the road. But why do members of the political class or the ruling class take workers for granted? Take us to now. The academic staff of universities has been fighting for improved conditions of service for teachers. You have to see why a professor earns $300 a month.
If I may just
when you now talk of this same pengasing on NUPENG, if you must remember, were the darling, were the best unions in Africa in 1994 when they were fighting for democracy. The economy also collapsed.
This is part of the point I want to chime into. Because I think, when we paint the picture, often it's ceteris paribus, right? All things being equal.
Yes.
However, some of the arguments being laid out here are, what are we doing to check and balance what is starting to look like a monopolization of the unions? Because the unions seem to be becoming cartelized in their own way. They are now being accused of interfering with the greater good that is enjoyed through private business, hampering essential services that are given to us. Our electricity was disrupted for one. A number of things that allow us to enjoy essential services were disrupted. Now, I know the ILO doesn't have any distinct statutes that say that a strike can be called off if it stops essential services. But are we saying that for businesses, we have FCCPC, we have places we can report when we feel a business is monopolistic in its behavior? Who do we report when we feel the trade unions, the unions, are being monopolistic in their behavior?
Thank you very much. First of all, the unions are not involved in this monopolization business. That's
but they're behaving like monopolies.
No, between Dangote and his business antagonist. With respect to the unions, under Section 11 of the Trade Union Act, those services where unionization is not allowed is set out. The services are listed. The Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, this and so on and so forth. However, subsection 2 of that provision says, notwithstanding that you cannot unionize, you can form joint consultative committees. It's for the protection of the interests of workers. Now, I've heard the argument, somebody has invested so hugely, $20 billion. Who are you, these workers from nowhere? Why have you not set up your own refinery? I beg your pardon. Abraham Lincoln, an American president, says, capital means nothing without labor. The money that was invested in that refinery, if Alhaji Aliko Dangote has put it in a bank, maybe to attract 1% or whatever, but because labor and capital are involved, you are now talking of a huge investment. Whether you are talking of the workers that made the machines in Europe where they were imported, or the workers that build the factory here, you must not forget the fact that labor is very crucial when you are talking of an enterprise. So all unions exist for is to protect the interests of their member, to make sure that they are not paid slave wages.
So what happened to mediation?
Mediation, yes.
Why
now,
do we jump to strike?
Yeah. Strike in Nigeria is the last weapon. It is when all efforts to get the management to appreciate the need to respect the rights of workers.
Do you feel in this instance?
That's what happened.
It was the last effort?
This started since June.
Okay.
Allow us to unionize. No. If those who are coming, if you unionize, we'll sack you.
Why didn't they
That's
go to
no
court?
longer our law.
Why didn't they go to court?
No, who is to go to court?
To the national. Why didn't the unions go to the National Industrial Court?
No, that's not, because
That's
this
not the
thing,
process.
they are taking for granted that you must allow unions. So they were still negotiating. When like Dangote said, the company will never allow it.
Okay.
And the government was watching.
Okay.
Instead of moving decisively, as they did rather belatedly.
Okay. I think this is where Vimba is going to. Vimba, you can correct me if I'm wrong. What she's trying to say is that the monopoly of the union and the union being used by some other agents against businesses.
Yeah.
In this strike action,
Yes.
there have been allegations banning around. Before this happened, some oil unions, Darkman and the likes, were fighting Dangote. And that's why a lot of people also claim that it's only in Nigeria that union leaders become so larger than life and they become billionaires in the end. These are
No. Do you have any of them who's a billionaire?
No, these are allegations in the air.
No, I just want that.
No
I'm their lawyer. I want to be sure. So that I can also ask for more fees.
No.
If you can let me know the union leaders that
Allegedly.
No, that's why I say these are
This guy,
allegations.
this guy.
Not substantiated. And there's also an argument that they use a lot of these labor leaders to foment trouble. I know your argument as regards multiplicity of unions, because you say it really divests from the core of that union. Mushrooming of union, those are your words.
Where do we used to have 800 unions in the First
But
Republic?
today, a lot of people are also saying the over-concentration of power in one union is being used as a bait to be able to destroy companies. So when a union sets against you, you are done for.
No, it's not quite true. For instance,
but people are saying that's true. That's what the likes of the Dangote of this one. That's what's happening. In fact, it's just that they can't prove it to you empirically, but they will tell you
as a lawyer, I deal with evidence.
Yes.
I don't deal with allegations of congestion.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me.
Yeah.
But let's come to the two unions. I know the officials. I do not know any of them who can be said to be a billionaire. Any of them. But that apart, what is the matter here? It is for us to operate under the rule of law. I mean, that's what the ruling class
How do
says.
they manage?
No, let me just finish.
How do they manage all the big deals?
Let me just finish.
The $1 billion deals.
Let me
the
just
billions
finish.
of naira
There's
deals.
no union in Nigeria that make billions from Chekhov. And I will tell you why.
How much do they make from Chekhov
And I
in a
will
year?
tell you why. No, their books are available. You can,
Okay.
under the freedom of information, you can ask.
Okay.
ASU. I'm just going to ASU. During the last strike, 2022, the government said, how do we break, just like your language, the monopoly of ASU? The government then decided to approve, two, NAMDA and Konwa.
Yeah.
Today, where are those two parties? Because the workers...
They are coming after you.
No, the workers.
Konwa is coming after you.
The staff will always consider where their interest lies.
So
they have remained with us.
Highly politicized.
No, just a minute. What do you mean by politicization?
It is
the
being
running
used
of the country.
It is being used as a tool, as a weapon.
I will come to that in a moment. I'm just saying, right? Workers, and that is why in 2005, the Obasanjo regime felt NSA had become too powerful. So let's break it. So you had Trade Union Congress. Today, because of the ruthless exploitation of workers in Nigeria, NSA and TUC work together. Now, with respect to Pengassin and Nupen, and this is being honest, they won't go on strike without any basis. And I'm saying, having regard to their placement in the social matrix, the government has to do much more to prevent strikes, particularly where the law has been settled. It is too late in the day to say there should be no union in Nigeria. What you then do, once you have allowed unionization, is also to engage them, to ensure that wages are not too low. If you are making profit, and if you are not making profit, put the books on the table. My brother, there is a case in India. A company was going to be wound up by the shareholders. The workers filed an objection. And so, where's your local standard? And the Supreme Court of India said, yes, they are not shareholders, but they contribute their sweat and labor to make that company succeed. So it's the same thing here.
So, Mr. Falana, as we go, we're wrapping up now after this. Are you telling me that what Pengassin and the likes collect in check-up dues is not up to $1 billion?
No, what I'm saying
is not up to $1 billion.
No. Now, if I may ask you, how many workers do they have now?
Okay.
No, with employers like Dangote, how many workers do they have now? Threatening that if you join the union, who sack you. So you better run away from unions. It happens with Nigerian Union of Journalists.
So Pengassin is not collecting up to $1 billion in check-up dues?
No, you don't. I'm saying I don't have the figure, but we can ask them.
Okay.
But even if they collect any money,
I think
it's for the interest of the workers.
Okay.
When workers, they don't have the money to take people abroad. If workers are sick, their members are sick, they have to take care of them. If workers are sacked, they have to take care of them.
I know we can engage on this for many more minutes and hours on end, but unfortunately our time is up.
We are coming to organize NUJ here.
Okay, please. Yeah,
so that we can protect the interests of your workers. Some of those who are not paid salaries.
I'll be in the front row. I like to pick it.
Very good.
I like to pick it. I like to pick it. However, I like in the example you used of India, you still referred to court. So I'd like to see more national.
In fact, the two cases are coming up in court today. Dangote filed 2 actions against Pengassin and Nupen. Both cases are coming up this morning in Abuja.
Very good.
I can confirm to you we are being paid as a when due. Right here at the Rice District. Thank you so much.
I'm very happy.
We'll take a short break.
I'm very happy to know that now.